happy NBA trade deadline day to all of you who celebrate. We are counting down the minutes, even the seconds, until 3 o'clock Eastern time this afternoon. And we had a pretty significant deal yesterday, and it's significant for two reasons. The Warriors trading Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to Atlanta for Kristaps Porzingis is significant because it means Porzingis is on the Warriors now. We'll see what he's able to do. The Warriors had him on their radar since their playoff run against the Celtics. So there's that side of it. It is also, as we bring the Windman into the conversation, significant, Windy, because there had been all this conversation about the possibility of Golden State getting Giannis, and I assume that conversation ends immediately.
Yes, the Warriors made what they thought was a very strong offer that included 4 unprotected picks and picks that were going to be, conveyed after Steph Curry was retired. And the Bucks just didn't show a lot of interest in it. They had continued conversations, and at some point last night, the Warriors decided to move on and make this side deal to bring in Kristaps Porzingis. This actually could be a longer-term play. It's possible they will re-sign Porzingis, and this is really as much about next year as it is about this year. But the implication is that Giannis is not going to be a Warrior, and the real question you have is Giannis going to be anything but a Buck by the end of today?
And so, Jay, you and I talked about that a little bit this morning.
Yep.
And it's an interesting thing, the life of an NBA superstar. You can go one of two ways. If you really want out,
you say it.
You force your way out.
Yes.
And then you kind of become an enemy, right? I mean, you kind of become, we have seen it, right? Dwight Howard in Orlando and LeBron in Cleveland originally, and Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City. I mean, it's a little hard. And Giannis, it seems, again, you know it much better than I do, but it seems like Giannis wants out but doesn't want to actually force the issue, and that might be the reason he doesn't wind up getting.
Well, in his last interview, he said that he hopes he can beat a Buck for the rest of his life. Here's my thing, Greeny. If you're Wes Edens or if you're Jimmy Haslam, the owners of these teams, right, and you're a billionaire, where are you going, Giannis? I don't think you're going anywhere until I get fair compensation in return for the generational talent you are. And right now, if I learn anything from the Luka Doncic trade, you're not going to pin me in a corner for limited options. I'm going to wait until the summer until I can bring as many feasible partners to the table as well in order to get the best possible ROI for the investment I made in you.
Right.
That's it.
So he's not going anywhere is what you're saying, and he's not forcing the issue, and so we'll wind up seeing what winds up happening with that. Windy, that's the way it does feel. You told us earlier this morning if there's any remaining chance, maybe signs are pointing towards Miami?
I think James Harden should pull Giannis aside and tell him how to properly execute a trade request to Giannis assignment, because Harden is a master at it, and Giannis is struggling with it. If the Bucks are not going to take that Golden State offer, I cannot see how they would take an offer from Minnesota, because Minnesota has been really trying, and I just don't think it's a comparable offer. Miami has an offer that I think Milwaukee could take. It's not as strong draft pick-wise, a little stronger player-wise. Cleveland has, believe it or not, sniffed around on this, but they seem to be very happy with their James Harden move. Portland has sniffed around on this because they have all these draft assets from the Bucks from the Damian Lillard trade. But if you're saying no to the Warriors and Giannis isn't pounding on the door, I think I've gone from like 60-40, 70-30 that Giannis is going to remain a Buck.
Yep. All right, so we'll leave that there, and we'll see what winds up happening. We opened the show this morning with a double overtime game between the Knicks and the Nuggets last night. Jalen Brunson had 42. The Knicks wind up winning the game, and it sort of leads us into this place. A month ago, Knicks fans that stopped me in the street were saying we need to find a way to get Giannis. Now, Knicks fans that stopped me in the street are saying we're going to win the championship this year. Does that feel right to you, JWill?
Yeah, this is their best shot at doing so. I mean, getting Giannis right now, you deplete yourself of all your assets. Doesn't mean you can't win long-term with a guy like that. But right now, the best-case scenario for them is to keep this current construction of their roster that has been built for the last several years to be at this point. You were just there last year. This is a year where you get over the hump. It's Detroit. They're playing good basketball. Philly, I get it, but they lost Paul George, even though Joel Embiid is playing better. Like, there are teams that are knocking on the door in the East and still teams that are good in the West, but you just got to go win against a team in Denver last night that's still some areas where their depleted players aren't playing. This is their best chance to win a championship.
Cleveland with Harden. Detroit's been great. Boston, when they get Jason Tatum back?
You're giving me all caveats. You're giving me all caveats.
I'm just asking
caveats,
you.
right?
I'm just asking you. You're saying to me right now, you're picking Knicks.
Yes.
That group be picking them.
James Harden needs time to get acclimated, correct? Jason Tatum, is he going to come back? Detroit, have they been there before? New York has been there before. They've been there before.
Yeah, and they've won it. It's been a half a century, but, like clockwork, those things tend to happen. Winman, you were saying it earlier this morning. This is the Knicks moment.
This is a very strong team, very, very strong. You saw it last night. Jalen Brunson being a total superstar that he is, 40 points in a high-level game. Their defense is really been amped up designed to handle a team like Denver. You watched how they fought Jokic, how they were using the Karl Towns and Mitchell Robinson back and forth. You saw how their wings dealt with Murray. Deep, important possession by possession late in this playoff-style game. They were able to get stops, and they have so many different ways that they can play. They went and stuck their neck out and changed the head coach to try to more develop the depth of the team, and that depth is showing up. This is a team that they are highly invested in and that they believe in because they're not doing anything at the deadline. All
right, we'll wait and see again. We're counting it down to the deadline. If there's any further news, obviously, you will get it here immediately. We had the Spurs and Thunder last night. It should be a great matchup, but the Thunder are banged up. No SGA, no Chet Holmgren. So let's just enjoy some Victor Wembanyama, shall we, JWill? There's nothing more fun right now than watching him. Here we got a block on one side. He deflects that shot and stay with it. He's going the length of the floor.
I think it's fair to say he is the greatest highlight on earth right now. Fair?
We were debating this morning, is he the most watchable player in sports? Watch this. Look at a man of his size with that athleticism and range. Ridiculous. They're up 20 points at that point, by the way. But now watch Wemby come flying through the air here. Right? We got a jumper, no good. Now watch Wemby.
Just coming up from the weak side. I mean, it's who's stopping that? There's no other player in the game of basketball has a higher ceiling than Victor Wembanyama.
Here it comes again. Little defense, and now stay with it. Give it up, give it back, keep going.
At the rim.
And look at this.
Lob, easy, and one.
22 points, 14 rebounds, 2 blocks. Spurs go on to get the win, their third double-digit win over the Thunder this year, more than the rest of the NBA has combined. San Antonio has won 4 out of 5 matchups between the teams this year. Again, last night's we take with a grain of salt because of the injury situation with the Thunder, but it sort of does beg the question, and let's do this later in the week here, guys, as whether or not Wembanyama is the most watchable player in the sport or in sports right now, but B, Whitman, is it just too soon for them? Like the San Antonio, there's a part of me that wants to see them be the biggest threat out west. Obviously, OKC is the team to beat. Denver's really good, and there are others. There's a part of me that wants to see San Antonio and say they're ready. Are they just too young for us to say they're the team that is going to give OKC the run for its money?
The thing about San Antonio is that their guards are really a powerhouse part of the team. It's these young guards that have actually given the Thunder a lot of problems this year, more than Victor. But winning with young guards is a big ask across basketball, whether you're looking at college or pro. And San Antonio has elected basically to sit out this trade deadline. They are armed with lots of assets to improve the team, but they want to let this group develop. So when you look at Jokic and the Nuggets and you look at the champions in Oklahoma City, that's a mountain to climb. But we're going to be seeing the Spurs long into the future, which is one of the reasons why these matchups with the Thunder are so awesome, especially when Chet Holmgren is playing, because there's a genuine dislike between him and Victor. Unfortunately, that didn't happen last night.
I'll take San Antonio to be the favorite. To get up there to compete against OKC.
Favorite to win the West this year?
I just clarified, to get up there to compete against OKC.
To be the
challenge
last one
OKC standing in the Western Conference. I would do that for the fact that I like the thought of their young guards in Castle and Keldon Johnson, along with the veteranship of Fox, right, wearing down Jamal Murray over time. I'll take that bet. I'll take them to get OKC, to get up there.
I'll take as much Wembanyama as I can get right now. I mean, the interesting business.
I'll take as much Jokic.
No one's as much fun to watch. Well, that's a good matchup, too.
That's a great matchup.
Second-round matchup.
Yes.
Jokic, the multiple-time MVP against Wembanyama, the future MVP. We'll have a good time watching that. In the meantime, we've been waiting on a Giannis trade. We haven't gotten it. We did get a big name player traded yesterday, and that's Anthony Davis. For the second time in a year and 3 days, he's been traded. Now he goes to the Wizards. It's an 8-player blockbuster deal. Dallas gets 2 first-round draft picks, 3 second-round draft picks. Davis, of course, was the centerpiece in the Luka Doncic trade that shook up the league last year. In the end, he winds up playing just 29 games for the Mavericks with a variety of injuries, and so we can sort of put a ribbon on that trade if you want. Mavs end up with 5 players and 6 picks, including 3 first-round draft picks. And Wendy, you were telling us this was as much about clearing out salary cap space and clearing out a future in Dallas to build around Cooper Flagg as it was anything else.
The story of the Dallas Mavericks for the last year is truly fascinating because the what they sent out, well, you know, with the Luka transactions are really a basketball tragedy. Because, like you say, 3 first-round picks, but one of these picks traded in this draft is the Thunder pick this year. That's going to be 29 or 30. The other one is a top 20 protected pick in 4 years. You know, these are not good picks. And it's actually jaw-dropping that you could take a generational talent like Luka Doncic and do these transactions. Yet, the Mavericks have one of the brightest futures in the league because of Cooper Flagg. I mean, I can't see into the future, but it's very possible Cooper Flagg could end up being a better player and a better franchise leader than Luka Doncic. Maybe Luka won multiple championships in LA, and that will not be true, but Cooper Flagg is as exciting of a young player as we've seen in this league in 25 years. What he can do at both ends of the court elevates his entire team. It's extraordinarily exciting, and salary dumping Anthony Davis is the correct move for building around this young player.
So that's both things can be true. The Luka trade can wind up or can be one of, if not the worst trades that we've ever seen in this or any sport. And also, well, you're looking at me funny by just saying that. I mean,
because I get what that seems like on paper, but I'm going to push back slightly and say if the leader of your team doesn't exhibit the attributes that you want from leadership other than scoring a lot of points, then it turns into a power play. And a lot of times within NBA, you could be doing one thing and every fan can love you, but if I don't see those attributes or qualities behind closed doors every single day and people are starting to follow your lead instead of following the lead that we want, it's just not as simple as saying it's a horrible trade.
Look, if the ping pong balls don't bounce their way and they don't have Cooper Flagg right now, this is a very different conversation.
I agree.
Right? Obviously.
I agree.
So to Wendy's point, let's put that trade in the rearview mirror because that's where it belongs. Flagg is going to, at the risk of using a ridiculous expression, carry the flag for the Mavericks now into the future. And to Wendy's point, he is that guy, right? He is literally that good.
And to Wendy's point, when you dump over $120 million in salary, that helps, right? That helps you set up. Look, I think the one piece that you can't lose here is Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving's been spending anywhere between 30 minutes and an hour a day with Cooper on the court working on his game. So when you have those two and you have other pieces, young pieces you can surround for what the future of your franchise is going to look like, you build around a generational asset like Cooper Flagg.
The Duke guys stick together no matter where you guys wind up. Man, you're the best. True. Thank you. We'll be paying attention to you all day long here as we work our way toward the trade deadline. We're not expecting Giannis, but then again, you never know. NBA,